All right, next paragraph. A man's morality will tend to dictate his theology and his philosophy. For this reason, a person with moral failure will tend to reject the standards which convict him, but which were used of God to make a ministry successful.
I'm sorry, what?
What they're saying is that if you are hiding sin, you will that sin you.
Yeah, I got it now. I had to reread it because it was a lot of blah blah blah.
Okay. Well, just in case anyone else didn't get it, they're saying that if you're hiding your sin, you will adjust your theology away from the true theology to account for this sin not being as bad as it is, so that you don't have to feel the guilt. That's what they're saying.
Okay, so what was that man doing who raped all those girls while he was here in Oklahoma?
I mean, they would, the IBLP would argue that his theology and philosophy were not of God because he was hiding a secret moral failing.
Then why did God allow him to stay in ministry for years upon years upon years?
Well, that was Satan.
Or he wasn't secret about it. Maybe he told people and was proud of it, so it wasn't a secret sin. He was just openly a rapist.
Okay, I guess.
All right. So
Sorry.
So anyway, my thought on this was not, we haven't even talked about that. I don't know that morality is ontologically prior to theology and philosophy, or the reverse. I'd say they're connected in certain ways, or at least most of the time. But I think it's a bit reductionist to say morality and really moral failings dictate one's theology and philosophy. I think most of the time people probably do not adjust their theology, even if they know that what they're doing is wrong. Not in any significant way, anyway.
No, I found it to be quite the opposite. I find that my philosophy and when I believe my theology dictated my morality.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I was saying I don't think morality is ontologically prior to theology and philosophy. I think it's the reverse.
Yeah, for sure. Because why else would, so let's just, I know it's low hanging fruit and people use it a lot, but like homosexuality, right? Why do you think so many Christian people are so abhorrently against it?
I think that's a very complex subject. There's a lot of reasons why they are.
I mean, I think a lot of the men, especially in those conservative circles, literally are so homophobic because they have those tendencies and feelings in and of themselves.
That's certainly one possibility. I think it's more complex. I think that's, I think that's probably reductionist also. I think there's there's a lot of reasons why that is something that happens, and that's one of them. There's other reasons. There's like there's the reactionary reason, which is I like the way things are now and I don't like change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a reason. There's also just the groupthink, this is the way,
not wanting to be the odd man out.
Well, not just that, but this is the way I've been taught. And so I've been taught this. Like, babies aren't born racist. They're taught to be racist. So
right, absolutely.
So like it's kind of the same deal. It's a groupthink where you're like, this is my in group, and those homosexuals over there, those are the out group. They're the bad guys. Right?
Yeah.
And so and like we are very much a tribal species, and so our in and out group instincts are very strong.
Yeah.
And religion takes advantage of that and hijacks that to dehumanize certain groups of people, and Christianity dehumanizes the
A
homosexuals.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people.
Well, it's not just them. Like it's not just that they judge that particular sexual practice. Christians, not in my disrespect, IBLP, Christian nationalists, it feels like we're going back to cherry picking, but they will cherry pick the things that make them have that funny reaction in their tummy. We're like, I don't know about that. And so I feel like almost all the modern morality that they talk about is just like, ooh, that's gross. I don't like that. Versus like Jesus talked a lot more about the accumulation of wealth as a bad thing than he ever did about sexual immorality.
Sure. Yeah,
But-
Jesus did not like rich people.
No.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about accumulation of wealth hardly anywhere in this whole system.
Well, you see, God has come around and he likes wealth now.
Yeah. You can store up some treasures here, but just
You know
remember.
what? I actually might have come around on this whether morality is ontologically prior to theology. I think maybe it is.
It would have to be, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to cooperate.